Hi, my name's Steve Waldron. I'm the GIS coordinator and instructor here at the City of Richmond. The purpose of this video is to introduce the city's ArcGIS Online users to dashboards. This is a slide you've seen many times before. It is a part of our training curriculum. You will have already completed the learning pathway for ArcGIS Online, which means you have an ArcGIS Online account. You've taken our ArcGIS Online Part 1 class, and you've taken the Part 2 class. You may have even taken the self-paced learning plan that we assigned. Having completed this learning pathway, you are now able to take these electives. The elective you're taking today is called Dashboards. It's outlined in red because, according to our legend, this is strictly an online learning by the user. So this will be a short video, as this course is designed to introduce the user to dashboards and then point them to valuable resources they can use to learn how to make their own dashboards. I will not be making any dashboards in this video. Before we review what dashboards are and what they can do, let me show you where you can access dashboards and begin to create your own. It obviously requires your membership in the city's ArcGIS Online organization. So here in this slide, it indicates the way to do this is you look for the waffle and you click on it. It will open up and show you all these different apps that are available, and one of them is dashboards. If I toggle into ArcGIS Online, you can see I am logged in. Here is that waffle. I'll click the waffle, and here are dashboards. I just entered the dashboard section of ArcGIS Online. Let's go back to our presentation. So what is a dashboard? These enable users to convey information besides maps by presenting location-based analytics using intuitive and interactive data visualizations. So that's a pretty fancy definition, but what it basically means is that you can have centered around your map. You can have graphs and charts and gauges and lists. These are all different types of ways to convey information to your end users. These different ways of illustrating the data provide insights to the data that might not be intuitive to you by just looking at the map. They're interactive tools, and so they can change with the map. The dashboard elements, such as the graphs, the charts, the maps, they can be configured to communicate with each other so that changes to the map are reflected in the other graphics. It can all be done by using configuration. There is no coding required. And the last thing I would mention is that it is a web app. It's stored in your ArcGIS Online workspace. So this is a great spot to go and look at some dashboard examples. Let's start by looking at work previously completed by your coworkers here in the city. So I'm going to go back to the dashboards. I clicked on the waffle previously, and I'm going to click on Shared Dashboards. And here we can see a lot of different dashboards that exist in our ArcGIS Online organization. I probably have greater access to these than you may have because I'm an administrator. However, let's take a look at this first one, Vision Zero. This is created by Public Works, and the way it works is they have published accident data to a web map, and then they've hooked up that data to a number of graphics. So we have line graphs, we have a filter tool over here, and then we have some information frames. So let's take a look at what they've done here. Let's say we want to find accidents related to if there was a bicycle involved. So I'm going to use this filter. and choose Yes. Notice the map has been filtered. These are only accidents involving bicycles. When we chose this, all these numbers were updated. Here we can see the trend over time. Let's change this back to no, bicycles not involved. We've refreshed the map and the numbers all go back to include everything. So in this example, you can see the GIS map is the center of the source information, whereas all these other elements over here are just graphical ways to share information that is not intuitive to the user by looking at the map. Let's take a look at another example. Over in the Department of Emergency Communications, they created an app. It's called the Event Dashboard. This is used by staff and police. I do not believe this is available publicly or to all of us, but it's a great example to showcase. So in this example, they are mapping all the calls for service at 911 center. And then they have a bar graph down here. They're showing calls by police precinct. Over here on the left, they have filters, just like we saw in the zero in the previous Vision Zero dashboard. And over here on the right, we have a list. Well, let's go up here and limit the number of events to what's from the last 24 hours. So we click this, we can see the numbers are changing, the bar graph is changing, and the map changed. There are fewer events being displayed. Here we can click on a specific event. Let's say we want to find a disorderly event. We click on it, and the map zooms us and flashes where that's located on the map. From inside the map, they've designed it so you can change the base map. So if you don't like the default, you could choose a different color. I'm going to change this to the dark gray canvas. And then I'll zoom out a little bit. And here we can see the calls for service in the last 24 hours. And by precinct, we can see which involve crashes, larceny, stolen vehicles, or other. From inside the map, you can still click on these events and it will tell you information about that call for service. So this is a really cool dashboard created by the Department of Emergency Communications. Let's look at just one more. Let's see. I think the open utility cuts is a really neat one. What this means is whenever the Department of Public Utilities needs to cut the street open in order to access the pipes for water or sewer or gas or whatever it might be, they have an application they use to map the location of where those cuts are occurring. Here on the map, we can see their web map, and they've published the utility cuts. And in the dashboard view, they have a couple of bar graphs showing a breakdown by year of water cuts, stormwater cuts, sewer cuts, gas cuts, or streetlight cuts. So these are just different ways that they're displaying the information about utility cuts. You can come in, you can click on a specific utility cut, and you can read the information about that utility cut. They even have photos of each of these utility cuts. So I know this is a workflow in progress, but it looks like they're making great progress on implementing this. So these are just some examples of dashboards created by our coworkers here. And I would like you to know they've developed these skills without any help from the DIT GIS offices. They learned to do this all by themselves using the ESRI resources. So let's show you where these resources can be found so you can learn to create your own dashboards. Here's where we suggest you start. You should go to this URL, and I'm going to jump out and demo what this page looks like. Okay, here we are. Notice this is the ArcGIS Dashboards Resources page. There's an overview. Overview page explains about dashboards, but it has a resources tab. So in the first section, notice they call it Discovery Paths, and there's an option here to try ArcGIS dashboards. These are learning opportunities. Let's go check this out. Click on Start this path, and what you'll see here are 5 different lessons that you can perform to learn how to make dashboards. Let's try the Collect Hurricane Damage Assessment. Here we can see all the different requirements to take this class. So you will need to learn how to use ArcGIS Survey 123 and Collector for this particular one, but they will walk you through it. Here you can see in each of these lessons, you can view what the final result is supposed to look like. So in other words, that particular lesson will teach you how to create this specific dashboard. So this is a pretty neat one. It's got the map as the center focus. It has data in it about assessments from hurricane damage. And down here is a graphical view of the different types of damage that have occurred. There's a pie chart and there's a list. Let's go back to the resources page. We can see there's even a plan here to make effective pie charts as an example. So there are some lesson plans here that can help you get your feet wet. Go back to the main page. We'll keep scrolling down. From the resources page, you can join and follow the blog that Esri has. Here you can come and you can read about any new developments that they release for dashboards. So if we click on See What's New, here's a summary of all the new things that they've developed and included in the product. Here are some articles that you can read. And then here are some links directly to documentation. So this is like how to do things. Here's one called Get Started. Here's one called Configure Actions. So there's all these different resources here under documentation. You can go click on and you can see step by step how to do certain things. And there's some videos. So maybe it's good for you if you like to watch videos to begin. Well, they've made a number of them available. If you click watch more videos, this takes you to a link where you can see lots of different videos that have been made that pertain to dashboards. So you've got a combination of a lot of different resources on that page. Hands-on training, documentation, videos, blogs, all kinds of great things for you to use. I'm going to go back to the presentation. And of course, I'm always trying to remind people, if you go to the ESRI training catalog at this URL, because you have an ArcGIS Online account with the City of Richmond, you can log in and you can access a lot of these free resources. So what the slide is showing you is if you go to the training catalog and you enter dashboards and you search on it, you're going to find a lot of classes, a lot of opportunities to learn about dashboards. Here, I'll jump out. You can see I'm logged in as Steve. I'm at the ESRI's course catalog, and I'm going to do a search for dashboards. If I scroll down here, we can see I've got 27 results. So there's a lot of opportunities related to dashboards. Here's one called Introduction to Dashboards. There's videos, there's tutorials, there's web courses. Notice this one is unlocked. That's because I have a membership in ArcGIS Online with the city, so I could take this web course and learn how to use arcade expressions. Lots of resources, everybody. Okay, let's wrap things up. What's next? I always need to remind everybody that you can get a copy of this slide deck at this URL. These slide decks are also available to you from the GIS Training Videos webpage, which is where you found this video. So up near the top, you can always go and get access to these slide decks. Just look for the one called Dashboards. We'd like you to send an email to us at dit-richmond@richmondgov.com. And in that message, tell us that you've taken the Dashboards class, because we like to keep track of who our students are and who's taking these classes. So the sample dashboards created by city staff that we showed you today, those employees learned how to make those applications on their own. And I know that you can do it too, given the resources we've pointed out today. So why don't you go ahead and get started, and I'm sure that you will have success as well.